Coffee of Eureka. EBN finds the best local coffee shop.
We welcome new faces to the Eureka teaching staff.
Meet the 2025 Catpound leaders and their goals for this season.
The history of St. Louis in the classroom.
The winner of the local Mustache Competition.
EHS welcomes new administrators.
Students from around the world take on Eureka.
EHS soccer coach wins prestigious awards.
All that and more.
This is EBN. Thanks for joining us for our October broadcast. I'm Jackson Vardaman, joined alongside Sam Lewis.
With over 10 different coffee shops in Eureka, everyone has an opinion. We visited 5 of students' favorite coffee shops and tried their go-to drinks.
What's your name?
Jillian.
What's your favorite coffee shop?
Starbucks.
What do you get?
Iced caramel macchiato.
What's your name?
Adam.
What's your favorite coffee shop?
La Finca.
What do you get there?
A matcha latte.
What's your name?
David.
What's your favorite coffee shop?
Starbucks.
What's your order?
I got a caramel frappuccino.
What's your name?
Kennedy McGuire.
What's your favorite coffee shop?
Orange Couch.
What do you order?
Caramel latte.
What's your name?
Heidi Daffron.
What's your name?
Jack Lang.
What's your favorite coffee shop?
Probably Starbucks or Panera.
I'm gonna have to go Starbucks on that.
What do you order?
Anything like chocolate or just like with a lot of sugar in it.
Just black.
Black?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
We're here at Orange Couch, and we got the Orange Couch Mocha. 8 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Ooh.
9 out of 10.
Let's go. We're at Orange Couch by Camilla's. We're at Quick Trip, and we got the caramel cold brew. 5.5 out of 10.
4 out of 10.
That's like 3.5. We're at Quick Trip off 109. We're here at La Finca, and we ordered the La Finca Mocha. I give it a 7 out of 10.
Five out of 10.
Three out of 10.
We're in downtown Eureka next to Ola. Alright, we're at Starbucks and we're gonna taste the pumpkin spice latte. Give it 8 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
9.5 out of 10. I love pumpkin.
We're at the Starbucks located in Wildwood Town Center.
This year, several new faces entered Eureka High School, one of which is Mrs. Daughtery, a new language arts teacher for 10th and 11th grade.
My name is Miss Grace Doherty. I'm a new teacher here, and it's my first year teaching, and I've been loving it so far. I'm really excited for the rest of the year. I teach LA 10 and LA 11. I think my favorite thing about teaching is that there's something different every day, and it's always unpredictable in a sense. Like smartboard might malfunction, or a fire drill, right, like we had last Friday, right? So it's always unpredictable, always keeps me on my toes, and I love connecting with the students and just having fun throughout the day while learning. All the other teachers have been really helpful and really willing to reach out to me, see if I need anything, and that just made me feel really welcomed. And yeah, and especially the school spirit. I went to the football game the other day, and that was crazy. I loved it. I like to do arts and crafts. I like to just hang out with my friends. I really like painting and embroidery. I really like that. Just being with friends, family, and doing crafts. I recently got engaged just about a week ago, not this past Saturday, but the one before that. So yeah, that's exciting. That's coming up. He'll be my family very soon. I'm not the only teacher in my family, so my mom is also a teacher, and she's actually a reading professor at one of the local community colleges. So we're both into English, both into reading, and both love to teach. So it runs in the family.
Each year, new seniors take charge of the award-winning student section here at Eureka. EBN met with the new 2025 Catpound leaders to discuss what goes into leading the Catpound and their goals for this season.
They didn't really have it planned out. We went in the Friedman's office. He was like, we don't know what we're doing. Who do we have? So he's like, if you guys want to be it, you can. And do you have any other people who want to be leaders? We were like, yeah.
Logan was talking to Mr. Luthauser a lot, and he just recommended.
And then Ms. Friedman sent us an email asking if we wanted to participate in it.
Yeah, Ms. Friedman just asked me and Logan who we think would be the best Catpound leaders, so said the boys over here.
You gotta keep them entertained, so you gotta always do a new chant or just scream.
Just depends on what happens during the game. We always
share it to each other.
Yeah. Even kids that aren't Catpound leaders can suggest some good ones.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the juniors feed off our energy and then it just goes back.
Yeah. Ms. Friedman would reserve us a spot, and then we'd ask if we could bring anything and just make sure we have all of our supplies.
Flags and the whiteboard.
Yeah, make sure we have the whiteboard props.
Whiteboard, marker,
flags, eraser,
yeah.
And our Wildcat spirit. Let's go.
Yep.
We really just yell at them. We're just everyone listen up, be quiet, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, we got 5 of us, so
Yeah.
we're all pretty loud.
Pretty loud.
Some of the seniors help out
If
too.
it gets out of hand, then we could always tell Mr. Luthauser.
Yeah.
Well, last game we had a little bit of predicament.
We had some Lafayette kids in the stands.
Yeah.
Oh, we want to make some new themes.
Yeah.
Open to all options.
You can text us.
You can DM the Barstool account.
You can text us anything.
We have a little group chat going.
Yeah,
We want to leave an impact on the Catpound leaders next year to follow in our footsteps. And
I think we already have.
I feel like we wouldn't have took the job if we didn't feel like we could make it.
be a role model.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially for the incoming freshmen, because if they're freshmen last year, if they saw Catpound leaders not really chanting like that, they're just going to think they don't have to chant the rest of their high school year. So.
St. Louis was founded in 1764, making 264 years of deep history. Next year, Rockwell plans to introduce a new class that dives into the history of St. Louis and how we got to where we are today. EBN spoke with Mr. Gentry, one of EHS history teachers, about this new class.
So, new class coming into the social studies hallway here is going to be St. Louis history. It's going to be available starting next school year. It's just a semester class. So it actually came from a combination of student polls and teacher polls. I believe it was 2 years ago. There was a poll that went out in just Rockwood in general, because it's not just Eureka where this class is going to be available. And you, the students, voted that it was St. Louis history was what you guys were most interested in, and then the women's history class. So those are actually the 2 new ones that are coming in. And then the teachers also made suggestions for classes. So the combination of the 2, St. Louis history, women's history, were the 2 most popular among students and teachers. So it's an elective. The recommended would be junior seniors. You technically could take it as a sophomore, although I wouldn't. There's other core classes you got to get done, but you technically could. But it's mainly envisioned to be a junior senior class. So the whole idea of this class is to help fellow St. Louisan high school kids, specifically obviously in Eureka. It's to help you guys understand how to identify as a St. Louisan. What is St. Louis to you? What is St. Louis to me? A lot of people may not be able to answer that at the beginning of the class. At the end of the class, the goal is to what is St. Louis to you? And the way that we do that is we look at, obviously, the history of St. Louis, but we look at politics in St. Louis. We look at technology advancement in St. Louis. We look at the culture of St. Louis. And we're talking from the beginnings to now, to 2024, culture changes, how things have developed into St. Louis as we know it today. So the whole premise of the class is trying to expose high school kids to St. Louis so you guys can understand why are you proud to be a St. Louis, and why is this something that you guys can identify with? Now, what does that consist of? As far as in the class, gonna be lots of projects. research into the area. We'll be reaching out to a lot of local people in St. Louis, museums, researchers, authors, journalists. There will probably be a field trip or so. But it's a lot of hands-on getting into St. Louis, because I don't think it would make sense to have this be a St. Louis history class without getting involved with the people around St. Louis. So if you're someone that really likes interactive, project-based learning, then this class is going to be for you.
New principal Miss Conrad is excited to be leading the class of 2028. Miss Goodman returns to EHS, where she started her career as a language arts teacher. After working as an assistant principal at Rockwood Summit High School, she returns home to EHS as the associate principal.
What made you come to Eureka High School?
I spent 12 years at Eureka High School as an English language arts teacher before I left to become an assistant principal at Rockwood Summit, and I loved Eureka. I live in the area and my kids will be here one day. So when there was an opportunity to come back to Eureka as the associate principal, it was just too good of an opportunity for myself and for my family.
What do you like about the school?
I love so many things about the school. I think that it would be difficult to find a high school that has more school spirit than Eureka High School does. I think it's also difficult to find a community that's more supportive and engaged than the Eureka High School community is.
What are some things you're going to do to help improve the school?
So I think that anytime you're in your first year in a role, it's a lot of listening to people. So for me, that's been listening to staff and listening to students. So one thing that I did when I started here was I looked at a survey that staff filled out at the end of last year and a survey that students took at the end of the last year. And it was thinking about the things that sounded like they were really important to staff and students. So one thing that I heard was more recognition. So as an administrative team, we're thinking about how can we always give more recognition to our teachers, to our staff members, and also to our students. One thing that I'm hoping to do is find a way for people to feel more connected in their homerooms. So I don't know at what point this is going to air, but kind of either stay tuned for that or maybe you already know about it.
What made you become a principal?
That's a really great question. I became a principal because I absolutely love working with students. It was actually really difficult for me to leave the classroom because, and I used to be in E184, I felt like my classroom was this great community of learners, and I was really happy there. But honestly, during the COVID pandemic, I felt like I was helping a lot of other teachers, and so I felt really led to help teachers feel empowered and also help students feel empowered, and it seemed like the right way to grow my impact.
First off, what made you come to EHS?
I have been looking for an administrative role for a little while, and I saw this opening and I was really excited about it because I started my career as a high school English language arts journalism teacher, and I'd been looking to get back to the high school. And I talked to Mrs. Goodman, who is the associate principal here. She had worked here previously and was coming back, and I reached out to her to sort of ask a few questions like, you know, what's Eureka really like? Why is oh man, how would I phrase that? Like, what can I expect? Why are you going back? That sort of stuff. And she and I just had a really awesome conversation that made me really excited about the position, but specifically Eureka High School.
Awesome, yeah. So what are some things you're going to do to help improve our school?
The first thing that I need to do is figure out all the systems and how everything works. I haven't been in a high school in a handful of years, and so getting back into the groove and then also understanding and knowing how Eureka itself works is sort of my first step. And then once I've figured that out, I look forward to making sure that students are learning every day. We're working on getting our reading up, and that Eureka is a place that teachers want to be and want to work at and work together collaboratively for, you know, having outstanding students, families, and a community that supports it.
Awesome, yeah. So if you've had any administrative roles in the past, would you mind talking about that?
Sure. So before I moved to Missouri, I was a summer school principal in the district that I formerly came from. I've been a summer school principal or assistant principal here in Rockwood for the last 2 years, so there's actually a few familiar faces around. And then I had also just been on a handful of teacher leadership activities and groups, meetings, councils, that sort of stuff.
Awesome. So we hired the 2 new principals. What made them stand out over other applicants?
I think their strong commitment to kids. I'll say as far as Mrs. Goodman, her experience here in this building previously, she knew the building. She understood the culture here at Eureka High School. She had a working relationship with many of the adults, and in fact, I think some of the students she may have had when they were freshmen, actually. So she certainly knew the layout. She had also been previously working at Summit, so she understands Rockwood and understood the role of the assistant principal and was ready to move into that associate principal's role. Ms. Conrad, very similar. She has an ELA background. I was looking for someone that could kind of come in and have a strong pedigree in the classroom. She also had experience in Rockwood, had worked in one of our middle schools. Both have been just outstanding additions to the team and couldn't want more, honestly.
So what will they bring to the school to better empower our school?
I think both clarity in the classroom. They have a great instructional pedigree. They know what good teaching looks like. They also are both very personable. They know how to build relationships, right? And they put kids first. And so they know that teachers can go to them, that they're going to come up with good answers, they're going to work together, they're going to be very visible. And again, they're going to get to know kids in a way that is going to ensure kids want to be here. And they're going to continue to push them to be the best student and person they can be.
A mustache worth millions. Meet Mr. Sander and his award-winning mustache.
So it's pretty casual. Like it's, they do this festival in Union called Founders Day every year, and it's just got like a bunch of booths with like food trucks and stuff like that and random events. And one of the booths is a little facial hair competition. So like you basically just show up the day of it and sign up, and there's a lady with a bullhorn that's like collecting names. And then when it starts, she calls everyone over, and they had like 3 categories. They had best mustache, they had longest beard, and like best overall. So you could go in any category you wanted to. And basically what all that amounts to is you get in a line, you're in front of like the crowd of people, and they call you up one at a time. They ask you a couple questions about like where you're from and why you're competing. And then you just kind of walk past the judges, and each one gives you a score. And then once everybody's gone, they tally them up, and they announce the winners. I mean, it depends. When it's long, kind of like how I have it, it does take some time in the morning. It adds a good maybe about 5 minutes onto my routine. So with all of it in general, when it's long, I got to blow dry it because I don't got a lot of time in the morning. And it needs to be dry to put the products in there. So normally I'll put, if I just have some extra hair product, I need to kind of get the hairs down. Otherwise, they're all over the place. So I'll just use whatever hair product I might be using to start it off as kind of a base. And then after that, I have a wax. I have a mustache wax that I use. So that kind of trains it out of my mouth. And whenever I do the competition, I try to kind of curl it up on the ends a little bit. But when I have the beard, it's too much to do every day. So it was just something that sounded like a goofy, fun thing to do. It's always at the start of summer, like the first week of June. So it's naturally when I tend to kind of have a mustache anyway, because I grow it out a bit in the spring. And I had first learned about it from my barber. So I used to live in Union because I used to teach out in St. Clair, Missouri. And I would get my hair cut out there, and my barber is one of the judges. So it's a way that like the local hairdressers and barbers can promote their business by being judges in the competition. And he had just kind of mentioned to me as a goofy thing that he did. And I was like, oh, that's my chance. That's my chance to maybe earn a little bit of hardware here.
Eureka has a strong foreign exchange student program. This year, we are hosting 6 students from Sweden all the way to Portugal. This is just 3 of Eureka's new students from around the world.
Hello, my name is Emil Gustav Johannes Isaksson Molander, and I'm from Sweden.
My name is Gökçe Gök, and I'm from Turkey.
I'm Karen Varela, and I'm from Portugal.
It's quite large. It's much larger than my school back at home. And the corridors are very packed in between classes.
In my old school, we just sit in one class and teachers change the classes. And here we we change the classes and the teachers.
Probably the sports. We don't have like a big football field and like track. We don't do really like sports in the school.
I think it's chicken taco. Yeah, that was really good. You make it really good here.
Bacon.
Raising canes.
I'm in band, marching band, and then I'm in the swim team as well.
I'm in the jazz band, but I don't know if it's counting.
Yeah. I'm a part of the cross-country team, but I would love to be a part of the dance team.
Swimming is really fun. They're really good here. It's very fun. But I also like to tourist a little, just see the town and all that. Traveling is one of my favorite things to do.
Just school is fun.
Probably just go ride in my host family's car. It's really fun to discover places and things like that.
My father actually was an exchange student here in the US, and he actually came here to Missouri, to a town called Carthage. So I've just always wanted to go to the US.
I always wanted to be an exchange student in America because I've always seen the school movies, high school movies and stuff, and they were all so fun, looking so fun. So, yeah.
My sister did an exchange year before, 2 years ago, and I really looked up to her, exchange program and everything. That's what mostly made me want to come here.
Well, the meals aren't super different. Of course, we don't eat exactly the same, but the base of every meal is very similar.
They're so nice for me, and every single meal in America feels like it's fast food.
It's pretty much the same thing. I don't know how to explain it, but they're pretty much my family, what do I have back home, here.
Graduation and all the dances, because we don't really have as much dances as you guys in Sweden.
Just being in the school or having friends here, just discovering here America.
Next year, probably prom, homecoming, Spirit Week, and things like that.
Girls assistant soccer coach Anna Voigt wins Assistant Coach of the Year award in St. Louis after the 2024 girls soccer season.
I've been teaching at Eureka for 18 years. 19 years I've been coaching. It's been pretty fun. A lot of changes over the years. I used to coach softball and basketball as well, but soccer's the one that I've stuck with throughout, all the life changes of having kids and having a lot of other outside priorities. I won the award for Missouri Assistant Coach of the Year in soccer. It's pretty much just an award that recognizes in our class just one of the assistant coaches. Even though some head coaching opportunities have presented themselves, I like being an assistant coach just because it also gives me a little bit more freedom to also be a mom and put a lot of time in with my kids at home as well. To me, one of the most important things is after I received the award, one of the former alumni, Allie Wallner, who also coaches, sent me a video of some of the former players just sending me messages. And to me, that's the most important thing, is just receiving those messages from former players who, their experience at Eureka and the positive experiences they had. And to me, that's the reason why I coach, because I want any student here to have that opportunity to represent their school, but also make lifelong memories. This past season was really important because even though we had second place, it was still a great season. We did really well. But there's a lot of girls who have worked really hard over the years. We had a lot of players as seniors who had played for 4 years. And I just think when you put in all that time and effort to represent your school and you see the outcome being so positive, it's pretty rewarding. Just a special thanks to Coach Hannah, Coach Wallner, Mosley, and Schneider. They're a great coaching staff to work with, and even though it was an award given to me, I feel like it just represents how strong our program and coaching staff is, so I wouldn't have got it without them.
That's all for us here from Studio E at Eureka High School. For EBN, I'm Jackson Vardaman.
And I'm Sam Lewis. We will see you soon, Cats.